the 50s when things were rationed and you had to queue for things. I remember queuing for ages. You know, you had to go and queue up to get things, even though you had ration books and things like that.
I can remember going to the store, especially when I came home from evacuation and everything was still rationed. And we stood in long, long queues right outside the store. We always called it the store. And then inside for the things you got at the butter side, and then you stood in a queue for things you got at the sugar side and the butcher. But that really was our corner shop, I suppose.
I remember going to the top of the street to Sheffield's shop, and the sugar was in blue bags and carefully carrying it home, even at 4-year-old. There was one occasion when I very carelessly crossed the very top of the street, walked straight into the side of a delivery van. I never made that mistake again. I walked down and crossed the road at the bottom.
I do remember the ration books where they used to mark off the butter and the bacon and everything like that. But as far as sweets is concerned, I was very, very fortunate because my auntie, who lived in Durham, they lived in a little village and they had a little village shop and they had sweets in the shop. So I always think that I was very fortunate that every time I went to visit them, I always used to get a little supply, so it didn't particularly bother me. But I remember the first time I had a banana, and I must have been a good age before I had a banana, and I never took to bananas. I suppose I was not brought up on them, and it was just something that I never ever took to, so I don't particularly eat them.
On a Sunday, my sister used to walk me to Saltwell, where the allotments were beside what's now the Creme, and we used to get fresh vegetables. Quite often we got them for nothing because I was very cute. And if I smiled sweetly, the men used to say, "Aren't you lovely? There's some rhubarb." So we always had enough, not a lot, but we always had enough to eat. It was sufficient.
Oh, I do. I do remember rationing in 1952, partly because that was the year I was married and had to sort to learn to provide meals with very little to work with. But fortunately, my new father-in-law was the manager of the grocery department in the big CWS building, and I got a little help.